Not me.
So this is time number 2.
Oh, I just.
Sit down and start working down there. I can do it too.
Cindy West is
Hi, Stevie.
How was your trip?
Well, we're past time. Go ahead, call the meeting to order. We'll call the meeting to order. I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. Is there anyone here who's attending their first POA meeting or first? Will you stand up and state your name and your address, please?
I'm Todd Brashaw. I'm at 204 Ashwood Lane.
Oh,
here.
Welcome to your building.
Thank you.
I'm Rick and Heidi Browning, we're at 44 Harding Meadows, way up there.
Way up there.
Welcome, glad to have you. The first order of business, we'll review and approve the minutes from the August meeting.
So the August meeting minutes are digitally sent to you. This is the executive session meeting minutes that I put here.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the minutes. I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Minutes are approved. Okay, and we'll start as usual with the general manager's report.
Okay, first thing I just got an email, this relates to tonight's agenda, from Nathan Slaybaugh. He's the first one listed under new business. He's asking to please go ahead and remove 5S Hydro Clean from the agenda from tonight's board meeting. He's decided to tackle other methods of reaching out to Stonebridge community. So he's going to attend meetings and community events. So speaking of which, we did have the new member social. It went well this last month. We had over 100 owners sign up online. It was a great time to roll out the new pizza making ability, which we proved that we do not have the ability to put out 50 pizzas at once. But they've been working on getting quality issues in line, and they're able to get out more of a quality pizza on an individual basis on a much smaller scale at a competitive price. So,
I have a question. Is that the only size piece of?
16 is the only one we got.
Or is it 18 or 16?
16,
extra large.
16 inch.
It's 16.
Yes.
What's the other large out there?
Out there in the community,
Yeah.
it's a 14 if you go like Ozark Mountain Pizza by Chef Broncos.
So these are 16 and that's.
But they also have 16s that they make at those places too, but I don't think that's their large. I think that's their extra large or whatever word they have for that, based on where you go. Yeah. They're all 16 inches,
Okay.
which is a large, it's a big pizza. Also have some announcements about the clubhouse being rented. So the rental space is ramping up. We do have the second week in October. I forget the specific days, but between the 7th and the 15th, we got multiple times when the entire facility is booked. That's egg room, leg room, Eagle Room, Par Room, Birdie Room, Lake Forest, Creek, everything, yeah. So Kay-Ann has been making calls to the card groups and the other groups, like yoga, book club, to redirect. I think some of them are planning on going up to the Welcome Center. We've got a room up there. We have square tables up there, not just round tables, which squares are what they are looking for the most part for the card groups. And then we'll also need to do the same thing with at least the ACC committee, but maybe more than one committee may have to meet if they're meeting within that second kind of week timeframe in October. So I know the ACC is going to have to meet up at the Welcome Center, and there may be more. But I would just look to the newsletter for room changes, and then I know that if you're a social group, if you're in a social group, Kay-Ann will reach out to at least one member organizing those groups and spread the word there.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's really all I have right now. I mean, we've got budgets on the agenda. We're getting that going, and then the retaining wall and the covered bridge estimates, so.
Eric, do you want to start off today with the financials?
Okay. You guys are financials in front of them, yeah?
Yeah.
We're gonna be staying on this left-hand side, middle column, basically, start on the bottom line, where we see we recorded a positive net income of $50,692 in net income posted for the month of August. That was $7,861 better than our budget figure of $42,831, which is that right-hand column next to that middle. You stay on that same left-hand side, middle column, just go up to the top to the green block. We'll kind of start here where we can see total common area revenue came in at $279,857. Of this revenue, $231,908 comprised assessment fees or dues. Currently, we're up to 1,110 dues paying properties within the village. Activities and facility fees came in under budget at $2,461. The reason for this revenue miss here was just due to a budgeted Veterans Memorial Dedication event, which just has not yet taken place yet this year, but it was within the budget whenever it was made. Welcome Center lease revenue stayed consistent. Obviously, it's $7,279. The Welcome Center in the month of August handled 2,206 check-ins within the month, comprising the $31,017 in revenue that you see in the night rental fee. And then finally, other revenue came in at $7,192. Part of the revenue that feeds into the other revenue line is new builds for road impacted permit fees. And we do have a new build taking place currently at 125 Beechwood, amongst the others. And it seems we may have many more home builds potentially in the future as we're seeing increased activity in lot procurement and or at least inquiries to do so. Could be interest rates coming down in the foreseeable future, but there's definitely been some activity with calls and lots changing hands with intention to build, so.
How many lots did you say you had produced claim lots?
1,110.
You can collect on all those or some?
Not all of them, you know, we've always ran it, like, since COVID, it's been about a 92 percentile collection rate, 8% uncollectible. We'll figure that out at the end of the year if more have tipped, because there are some lots that were deemed uncollectible that have changed hands that builders have got to hold up, various things like that. So we'll just have to run the figures at the end of the year, basically. So we're going to stay in that tan middle column, just go down to red highlighted block. There we see total common area expenses came in at $282,295. That's $8,451 more than our budgeted figure. Some of the expenses, I'm going to try to get through this kind of quick. The extra expenses came from really that Missouri Sick Leave Act. We talked about it at the Finance Committee meeting. Some people know about it, others don't. Kind of went in action May 2025. It's a Missouri mandate for all companies to act required employers to provide and accrue sick leave for full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees, which we never offered to seasonal employees. The law stated that for every 30 hours an employee worked, he or she would gain 1.33 hours of Missouri sick leave. And just for numbers sake, within the month of August, our 85 employees worked a total of 13,464 hours. And so you could divide that by 30, get a multiply that out, whatever kind of dollar figure you want on there. Anyways, it adds accrued payroll, which is an entry that we have to do at the end of the month. I will say that the law was repealed on August 28th, and employers had kind of three options of what they could do. They could allow employees to keep the sick time that they accrued and use it in the foreseeable future. They could opt to pay out the sick time that employees had accrued, or they could opt to remove it. The third option wasn't really recommended just because the law is very murky and you could have some legal uncertainty for it. So we chose to honor it. However, it will be accruing at the rate in August, or after August, in the month of September. But that did add some extra expenses, I would say, to some payroll lines. Let's see, I kind of got off track here. So, for instance, in Security Administrative Department, we can see a rise in expenses. Part of that was due to payroll, and another part was because we actually enacted our PTO plan. So previously, we had vacation and PTO for paid time off. Whenever Missouri sick leave came in, we repealed our PTOs because we weren't going to offer 3 different types of categories for that. Since Missouri sick leave got repealed, we let the employees that had it keep the Missouri sick leave, but then we removed it from accruing anymore and enacted our PTO plan. So anybody who actually reset their PTO plan between May and August, it was a hard set of hours because they reset at 40 hours if they've been here for a year. So you have a hard entry that doesn't have an offsetting entry until really the beginning of September. So it's heavier weighted month of August, should balance out, level out September, honestly. So you see those rises, PTO affecting Security Administrative Department. Security also had a gate repair at the west gate with a new board and chip, so they can operate. And then the other expense item that ran a little higher in the month of August were utilities, more specifically electric, which showed up in common area maintenance expense line. Both the Welcome Center and the clubhouse ran higher electric bills. It was just hot, dry, and no rain inside throughout the month, basically. And so irrigation component was also contributed some to this. So in conclusion, common area net posted a net loss of $2,438, which was $10,400 higher than expected, mainly attributable to utilities, various things, but that Missouri Sick Leave Act. However, if you look over here to date, common area net, which is the middle column on the right, same line over, you can see we're still better, $31,000 year to date to budget, as opposed to $93,344 in net income through the end of August. So go back over the left-hand side, one block down, go down to the middle column. The golf department, it was a bright spot within the month of August, as the golf course recorded a positive net income of $81,106. This was buoyed by a revenue of $268,710, as pay-per-play fees were up, more specifically 127 rounds compared to the same month last year. Pro shop and golf course maintenance combined expenses came in at $187,604, where we budgeted for $187,928. So definitely in line, but the higher revenue translated to better than expected net income, which was $25,500 ahead of budget for the month for the golf department. Move one block down. We don't normally talk too much about town hall, but we will at least tonight. You can see that we had expenses of $25,430 in the month. A few of the larger items within these expenses were $6,400 for the removal of 5 trees within Cedar Ridge development, and then we also had irrigation repair bills totaling $7,608, and it's continued to be a challenge at least this year. Moving down to food and beverage. You can see that revenue is on par with last year and budgeted sales at $110,737. Member discounts came in at 7.4%, which is where they pretty much have remained year to date, slightly off from previous year. Cost of goods or cost of sales came in at $36,941, or 33.4% of sales. And additional food and beverage expense was lower by about $7,400, where you can see we recorded $64,900 compared to the budget figure of the $71,503. Really, all of this translated to food and beverage operation, posting a positive $653 for the month, which beat budgeted figure by $13,296. You kind of follow the same line over to the right side, food and beverage net. You can see net so far is a loss of $94,620. It's $3,000 better than budget, $515 better than last year through the end of August. So it was on par at least there. Staying in that same right-hand line, middle column, just go down to the bottom line. We see net income year to date at $43,142, which is $11,402 better than budget to this point. So all things are balancing or counterbalancing thus far. Any questions on income statement? Just flip over, we'll just highlight cash on the balance sheet here. It's in the top left-hand side, basically. We can see we finished the month of August with $1,597,063 in total cash. That was an increase of $184,760 from July, and an increase of $267,868 from the same month last year. Part of this increase was due to $64,000 in receivables for upcoming golf tournaments, such as Last Chance Couples and the Outlaw Name Couple. And additionally, on a year-over-year basis, we still have some capital items for expenditure. Most notably, we've got roofs for the covered bridge, both guard shacks, this banquet hall, and then also the structural repairs of the covered entrance bridge that Bill's going to talk about just a little bit later in the meeting. So that cushion that we do have right now will diminish some through October, as at least I know the roofs are scheduled for replacement in October, and the bridge is yet to be determined. That's all I have for financials at least for.
Thanks, Eric. Now, the ACC, right?
Good evening.
Hello.
We had a pretty easy meeting this month. We didn't have anything crazy really to discuss or talk about this meeting. We just approved a couple landscape requests for some existing homes. We had 2 houses that are currently under construction that presented their final landscape plans, and we approved both of those. We approved a color change on one of the houses that's being built. They brought in new stone and grout color, and we approved that. We approved 2 screened-in porches, and that was actually it for this meeting. We got 13 new construction projects currently being built and under review. We've got 2 of them that we're kind of watching that are struggling a little bit. We have one of them that was approved in February. So they're about 7 months in, and they are just now getting done framing. And then we've got another one that was approved in January, and they're just now getting done drywalling. So we're kind of watching those 2, both of those. One's a new builder on a probation period, and one is another builder that's on a probation period that's built in here before. Other than that, that was it for this one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The golf committee, who is going to report for the golf committee?
Nobody, Carrie, you want to do it?
No, thank
He's not on the committee.
Terry's on it.
I'm the liaison,
Yeah.
so you want me to go up and present it? So the golf committee did finalize the Leadstone Country Club private golf cart policy this last meeting. It was distributed to all the board members for review. I forget the exact date. And
9/18,
on the what?
9/18.
September 18th. So, I don't know what you want me to go through here. Chuck, you want me to go highlight or not? Does everybody have a copy of this bill or not?
I do not.
No. Okay, well, we'll distribute it.
That's why.
The board does.
The board does, yes, because it's a board meeting, right. Do you want me to go through this, Chuck, or
Well, it's just,
I can do the summary?
Go through it too, yeah, if you want me to.
You might highlight what's different in this revision than what was discussed previously.
Okay,
I don't know how many people here are members of the committee and have been involved through the process.
so I'll just go through the highlights. So approval and insurance, all private carts must be inspected and approved annually by the golf course management. Proof of liability insurance, $300,000 minimum coverage specific to the carts is required each year. An annual decal will be issued once approval is complete and must be displayed on your cart window at all times. A signed release of liability in the form of the private cart agreement will be required. Cart specifications. So approved OEM brands include Yamaha, Club Car, E-Z-Go, Cumberland, Star, EVO, Madjack, or comparable golf cart manufacturers. Gas or electric, rear wheel drive only. 2-passenger maximum, single front seat only. Factory speed not to exceed 19 miles an hour. Size limits, so the maximum length is 112 inches. The maximum wheelbase will be 68 inches. The maximum height will be 75 inches. Maximum ground clearance will be 5.6 inches, and the maximum weight will be 1,000 pounds. Tires, must have turf tires at least 8 inches wide. Not allowed will be all-terrain tires, narrow street tires, or any tread that may damage our turf. Modifications, no lift kits or aftermarket speed modifications. No permanent weather enclosures, soft-sided only. No oversized speakers, running boards, or other unsafe alterations. Pre-approved carts. The carts approved before this policy may continue if they remain in original approved condition, they conform an annual inspection, owners executes the approved private cart agreement. Liability, owners must be fully responsible for damage caused by their cart. Misuse or non-compliance may result in loss of cart privileges. Remember, do not purchase a cart until it has been approved by the golf course management. And then there will be a private cart agreement that will be signed. Pretty standard, basically what I just went through. I think that summarizes. Yeah,
That was the summary, right?
that was the summary. Yep. And there's really not much. That's basically it.
Well, yeah, there's quite a bit in here that I'm confused about. Yeah, that's actually, this is the one after all the red line was changed. This was the final after it was changed. That's the red line. But they're not, see, they've already taken that out.
Bill,
Okay.
just come over and review this, because I thought this was our final. The
This,
one that has the red line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the final.
this,
This was the one Bill sent out without the red lines in it.
You sent out 2 copies.
Already taken out. So I've got both of them. They say the same thing.
Copy, you got.
they say the same thing, one's a red line, so you can see what was changed last, and then the other's not red line.
Right.
So it's
It's the last copy.
Full document.
So what questions do you have, Larry? Excuse me, it's not open for discussion at this point, sorry.
Okay, I've got several questions. First, that was the summary, but in the general requirements, it says that, and I think this is probably an oversight, that golf carts be inspected and approved annually by the golf course manager and the representative of the golf committee.
That's correct,
That's correct.
that is correct.
But when you read the summary, it was just the golf course management,
Okay,
which is correct.
golf course management and a golf committee member.
Bill, how many private carts do we have?
40.
We have 40 private carts. So every time someone comes in with a private cart, says, Phil or Bill, I want this cart inspected. Sorry, I've got to go find a member of the golf committee before I can inspect.
No, I think the plan would be to have days that a golf committee member, days and times that a golf committee member will be available with golf course management to approve cards and to be published.
Why in the world would we have someone on the golf committee inspecting our carts.
That is what was.
That's what,
That was what was agreed upon with the golf committee.
I know. The golf committee agreed, let's inspect carts. But it's never been, management inspects cars, Phil inspects cars, Bill can inspect the cart.
Okay.
You want Craig, or you're not on the committee,
No, I'm not.
or Dan, or somebody that come down and inspect my car? With Phil.
Yes,
I don't agree with that.
okay. I'll make a note.
Then further down on vehicles, specification, I'm still confused as to what this says.
Where is this at?
Vehicle specifications,
Okay,
where it talks about factory speed not to exceed 19 miles per hour.
that's correct.
Okay. And it says any four-wheel drive vehicles and all that aftermarket modifications enabling speeds greater than 19 will be classified as low-speed vehicles and under Missouri law and will be prohibited from the use on the golf course.
That's correct.
So, in the earlier ones, override switches were in there and was taken out.
That's correct.
So if a car did have an override switch, and when it gets to the golf course, it switches to the lower speed for the golf course speed of under 19, does it meet this requirement?
No, so the switch for the high speed should be set at 19 miles per hour.
Both speeds, both of them have to be set at
The
19.
low one can be whatever you want it to be. The high speed should be set at 19 miles per hour.
And why would that be?
Because that is the speed of a golf cart. And
Where did
that is what we use on our golf course.
Where did that
A
come
golf
from?
cart. That's Missouri law. That's what classifies a golf cart.
Who came up with this low-speed vehicle under the Missouri law? Was that our attorney, or who came up with that?
It's
This was run
written,
through the attorney.
yep, and
So
run
that
through
came from
our attorney.
It didn't come from our attorney, it went through the attorney, so it was presented to the attorney. Based on the information the golf committee came up with, the first set of red line documents is what the attorney came back with. That was primarily redlined through the credit card agreement, because that's the indemnification. And that's what the attorney puts most of the weight of this entire document on, is the indemnification.
With the indemnification, you're considering it a low-speed vehicle because it has a capability of going more than 19 miles an hour if
Right.
modified, right?
Because it has the capability of going more than 19 miles an hour.
Almost every golf cart out there has a capability of going more than 19 miles per hour.
Yes.
Every one of them. It's on the steering wheel. I took a picture of one of the golf carts on the steering wheel. It says, this is not conformed to be a golf cart because it can exceed these speed limits. Can be modified to speed. So that's where I'm getting a little confused as to where we came up with the idea that we can't drive on a street out here.
We're talking the golf course, Larry.
Okay, I've got a high speed and low speed switch. My high speed switch, when I'm out on the street, if I want to drive 25, which it doesn't at the moment, but if I want to drive 25, then I can stay out of the traffic. It's much safer for me. When
Well,
I come to the golf course, I switch to the lowest speed that says I'm under 19 miles per hour. I bring it down, Phil drives it, says, yeah, you're only going 18. But he says, but you've got that switch, so I'm not going to approve it. Is that
no,
what I'm hearing?
no, that's not what you're hearing. You're hearing if you have a switch and you prove to Phil that you had your switch high speed changed to 19 miles an hour from your vendor, then that will be approved.
You're still saying the same thing, 19 miles an hour.
That's correct, 19 miles an hour. That's a
If I have
golf
it-
cart speed.
If I have it at 25, so for safety on the streets, then and I switch to under 19 when I get on the golf course, you're saying that's not allowed?
Why do you feel it's safer on the street to go 25 versus
Because
19?
I've been run off the road twice.
Okay, we have
Cars trying,
We have a multitude of golf carts that drive on our streets today that don't go over 19 miles an hour. That drive farther than you do.
well, I know.
More, probably, maybe more times a week than you do. They've never had a problem. So
Anybody ever had a problem?
to go over,
There's three.
it's not Open for discussion right now.
I'm just
There is
asking for a
not-
show of hands.
He can ask for a show of hands, that's legal.
Okay, you can ask for a show of hands, but I don't want to
There was
constitute.
at least 4 of them, so they got to go at 5.
But, okay, but you're on the street, right? If you want to be on the golf course, the maximum speed your car can go is 19 miles an hour. That is the safest speed per
And
Missouri
that's
law.
what I will go.
Well, how do we know that? How do we know? Because we have a requirement for 2 people in a cart. How do we know when you get off your cart and go across the fairway, because this cart's on path, and you tell Terry, who's in your cart, Terry, drive my cart up there, and for some reason that switch gets hit and it goes blasting.
You can't hit the switch except where you can't accidentally hit it.
Or it gets turned on, Terry thinks she's supposed to move buttons around and move the cart. How do we know you won't go over 19 miles an hour?
You have to trust that I won't, because I said I will. I said I'll drive it my low speed.
A golf cart goes 19 miles an hour. That is the maximum speed for our golf course.
What about the golf carts that are considered, not golf carts because they can go faster than the speed? It's on your steering wheel. I don't know if you've ever looked at your steering wheel. I took a picture of Bill Riley's. It's on there, that does not conform to the golf.
I've not seen that on mine. So you've seen it on one, I've not seen it on any other.
All right, so I'm getting nowhere with that argument.
Okay? Anything else?
Oversized sound system, what does that mean?
That means when you start, when you have music on, it should be at a level that people can still golf, and that the homeowners aren't being blasted out of their porches and houses.
So shouldn't we write that in here, Megan, to identify what that means?
We could.
Let's just say we want no oversized sound systems that will blast out the homeowners
Sure,
and interfere at the golf.
yes. We can put that in there.
Because I don't know what that means.
Well, I think
Okay.
you're being a little bit ridiculous.
Well,
No, it's not.
what is an
No, it's
oversized
not.
sound system? Okay, on to the next one. We are grandfathering the cars that are already out there.
No, we are not grandfathering anything. Every cart-
It was changed to pre-approved cars.
Every cart will be inspected every year. So if you have a cart today that doesn't meet these specifications, by March 1st, when you want to get a sticker,
You didn't let me finish.
okay, sorry.
Privately owned cars that were approved prior to the policy's effective date, which is today, may continue to operate on the course provided that they remain in their approved condition and no further modifications. But then it says, are in compliance at the annual inspection,
That's correct.
so they're only gonna get, this, to be able to drive their car in this condition for only 6 months. And then when they have it inspected in March, it
Yes,
says they have to be in annual compliance with this policy,
that's correct.
which means if they can drive 25 on one speed, they can no longer meet the.
We have no control of it today. We have no control.
So any of you out there that have that set up, you're not gonna be able to get your car approved in March, if this policy is approved. What else?
You will be able to get it approved, just got the speed back.
Well, yeah, I have to go get it modified.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to do a modification.
Not modified to begin with.
No after, huh?
No.
Anyway,
No. How do they come?
27, 28 miles an hour on the high side.
You sell them that
The
way?
low side is at 14.
They come that way from the manufacturer, you request
that
that?
way.
And it is-
Ours the same way, we have we have high speed, low speed is about 15 miles an hour, high speed is 22. We always use 22, we live way up.
So to get here, you need to
To
have
get here, we
speed with all
go
the
up and
tourists.
up and down, but when my wife and I did the golf cart, we don't have golf carts.
Okay, okay, now,
Okay, at this point, rather than having the ongoing argument, no one from the golf committee decided to come and present their.
Yeah, ask Joe Allen, he'll tell you, he's got my same golf cart.
No, I don't think you can delay it.
And Mike Deeds, Mike has the same golf cart I have. From course around. They all have the same golf carts. So go after Mike Dietz, Joe Allen, he's a lawyer, we'll talk about it.
And he's on
Joe
the-
Allen was in the meeting. Okay,
Okay, I have one more, I have one
It doesn't
more.
matter, I know.
The last item on the summary, that seems a little ridiculous. Do not purchase a cart until it has been approved by the golf course manager. Am I gonna go to Springfield and have them bring a cart down to get it approved?
Larry, there's specs, you know that.
Huh?
You know that. We did that before we purchased our. Rick brought the specs in.
Okay, does the specs tell me whether or not what the modifications are on the high and low speeds?
Yes, it will tell that.
My specs don't say that.
Well, it should.
What? They're not in the,
So when you
my
come
manual.
in, when you come into the golf cart and to the pro shop and tell Phil, these are the specs for my cart, and Phil says, is it gonna go over 19 miles an hour?
Well, you can ask you, yeah.
We never said that. I brought my car.
We're gonna close this meeting down if you don't stop interrupting. This is a board meeting at this point. Excuse me, Chuck.
Anyway, I just thought better language would be, do not purchase a cart until you are sure it meets the requirements of this policy. That was very simple.
Anyone else on the board have anything to add or any questions?
Questions?
I move that we table this motion until next week. I don't care if you're gonna moan and groan, but people need to have an opportunity to speak. You're not doing that. You're shutting them down. They can't speak until the end of the meeting.
Cole, excuse me, this is a board meeting.
I don't care, we
Session.
need input.
It's not
We're here
open
to
session.
represent the people of Springfield, of, Stonebridge. Do I have a second for my motion to table this?
There is a motion presented to table this until the next meeting. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay,
And motion fails.
it proves to me you don't wanna listen to the people. And the show.
The editorial comments are uncalled for.
No, it isn't.
Nicole, that's ridiculous.
Excuse me, your attitude and the way you talk, it's ridiculous.
That,
So are you.
let's take a step back.
Oh, this is on this place.
Shouldn't we be able to talk about this a little bit before you actually vote on it?
There has been lots of different discussion. This has been going on for 2 months now.
Yeah,
Originally, we only thought we'd only have to have 30 days to come up with the specifications. The golf committee has gone out, they have talked to the golf cart owners. Everybody's been notified that we're.
I heard about it from Mike,
Okay, so I heard.
and I mean, I bought my cart with the approval from Philip before I spent good money, and now you're telling me it's not gonna meet a requirement now, so I'm not gonna go use it. I don't think that's fair.
What does your cart do?
It's an Evolution, 25 miles an hour on the high speed, it's got the low switch, it's, I think 77
I have
inches.
a question about this.
Yes,
Why does Larry's cart go 19 miles an hour on high speed and yours goes 25?
this goes 25 on high speed.
No, it does not.
Well, it came from the factory 19, but it can be modified.
Mine came factory 25.
Yeah.
You have the same cart, right?
I have the same car as Larry.
Yeah.
So.
What does yours do?
So roof height.
What does your cart do, Mike? Speed wise?
So I have a different cart. I have the same cart as Larry does. I think what should be focused on is the differential height and the roof height. Because where did those measurements come from? Those now exclude certain Evolution carts. While the carts that Larry and I have, they fit within those parameters, but not the other Evolution carts that are in this golf course that have been here for months. So I attended the meeting Thursday, and I'm really sad that you can get support from other members here. I know, Jim, you're here, but I mean, they're the whole golf committee, and they're not here. They knew this is gonna be a bad issue, right? they're not here representing, they left you
We
high
have,
and
we
dry.
have, we have one with pneumonia, we have one with a father who's in hospice. So 2 of them couldn't make it. I don't know where Joe's at. Joe's probably in court. Who knows where
Well,
he's
they
at.
left you high and dry, because the meeting started with specs for golf carts that were actually not gonna allow our fleet golf carts to go out there, because they were so wrong. I mean, the meeting started and Philip said, if you continue with these specs, we will not be able to use our own fleet carts.
That's how they started, and that's why we had the meeting, was to verify and to get specific
If you've
specifications.
been working on this for 3 weeks or 2 months or whatever it is, and we're still Thursday, just last Thursday, the specs were so far off that you couldn't even use fleet cars.
I don't think the specs were looked at as closely. The previous month, we were more concerned about the speed and what we should be putting it at. So there's a lot of verification that had to be done. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
I think speed is the most important thing out of it.
You know what, I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna argue
think
with
height is
speed,
too.
because I think speed is a way to make sure people go slower speeds. People get stupid with speed and they kill people and themselves, right? So, okay, 19 miles an hour.
We don't have a flat course.
But I don't know why you can't just trust them to switch to the low speed, just like you're gonna do with volume on the music. So you're gonna say, you have to play your music at a level that is appropriate. So, right, so how are you gonna police that? You can't police it, you're gonna trust people. Why can't you trust people on speed as well?
Well, because it's hard, we can police the volume. Because
You
if
can
it's
police-
bothering someone, they can call the pro shop, we can send somebody out there, right?
Right,
But if they're going at a speed that seems higher than 19 miles an hour, there's no way for us to validate that.
you
We
can
can't
validate
validate
with a speed check. At the meeting, you guys talked about getting a speed radar.
That,
You
we're
can
not
those to
getting
the-
a radar gun,
You
Mike,
might
that's
not, they're $100,
ridiculous.
they're really inexpensive.
We're not
You can
getting
give
out
those
there
to
and
the-
just, no, we're not doing speed checks, that's ridiculous. No,
But, I mean, your volume of music and mine and others is gonna be very, it's not, it's
a
set,
golf
right?
course is meant to play golf. Some people, music bothers them, and if you're asked to turn it down as a golfer, as we all know, should have the courtesy to turn the music down. But there are some people who won't,
Well, and
so
most
we
of
have
those
to
people,
accommodate our guests.
and most of those people are the people that are paying, they're not members here, they're playing here, and we value their business, we want their
We do.
business. And
We do.
so, most of that's that,
Yes.
not the owners here.
That's correct. I would agree with that.
I mean, these whole rules, why did we start talking about new rules for this?
Okay.
I heard it was because of safety,
It
right?
is safety.
So,
We
This is a
started
mountain
talking about new rules because we basically got to a point where we had no rules. And we had things going off the road.
so
Off
if
the
you
rails.
take the speed
We
out,
need some rules. When people come out, they know what kind of cart to get.
But-
So we need to implement something.
okay,
Now, what is the top speed that your cart goes?
I goes 25 right now,
It
because, yes,
It's the
because
same
I
thing.
asked them to raise it up to 25, I have the same
You
card,
asked them-
I asked them to raise it up.
Okay, that's what I was getting
Right,
first.
but they can bring it back to 19, but I asked them to raise it up because there was no rule against it being
That's
at
correct.
higher than 19.
That's right.
And if driving on these roads at a higher speed is safer than driving at a slower speed. So I'll take the speed aside. The differential height doesn't make sense to me. The roof height doesn't make sense to me. Why are those rules in place? Where did you come up with those 5.5 inches for differential and 75 inches for roof height?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I do not know.
anything over 75 inches, does it go through the
Yes,
tunnel?
absolutely.
So what goes, okay,
I'm
like
77.5, I think.
okay, so you get 77.5, that's your cart. Now, John Brown over here, he buys the next cart, and it's gonna be 82 inches, because it'll go through the tunnel. We get on our golf course, which is a mountain golf course, and you start down these hills and along like that, and over there, and it's wet out, there's more likelihood you're gonna tip.
Actually, having these new technology
I understand.
golf carts, they have better suspension, better braking than all the traditional brands that are out there today.
So they
And,
say,
and I understand you have to have a limit, right? So just like every bridge has a limit, you can't have a higher, truck than 12 foot 4 inches.
right,
Let's determine it based on the size of our tunnels, not based on some arbitrary number. I mean, 77 fits, so make it 78. You know, you guys said you talked to the owners of the carts. I wasn't talked to, Todd wasn't talked to, and neither was Steve on his cart. So I'm not sure who you talked to. Maybe it was the people that left out of here all upset. I doubt it. So I'm not sure. I know you talked to Joe Allen. Joe Allen has the same cart that Todd has. And Todd was totally against these specs. I was in the meeting. He was on the call. He was totally against it.
Yeah, I didn't say he wasn't
Yeah.
for or against it. I said he was in the meeting.
So if you talked to Joe Allen and you measured his cart, why didn't we make it 77 and a half or 78?
I don't know. I've got a question. Where did the 75 come from?
It just, these
But
measurements.
the
that-
differential, the ground differential from the, what do you call that?
From the ground to where the gear system
Gear
is
system
underneath
comes.
the cart.
And so what do you think it should be? What is
Well,
yours?
I don't know. I
That's
haven't
just
spent 2 months researching what carts are out there and what's needed. I know mine's 5.6, perfect. I think his is just a little higher than that. I
Yeah.
think Steve's is just a little higher than that. So again, we make these
So-
arbitrary
So
measurements.
I think what Philip did, Philip did these numbers for us, redid the numbers that were there initially. Because we wanted to nail down what was all the different types of carts and what was the average length and all that kind of stuff. So I think the 5.6 inches, but we'll have to ask Phil, is from all of the carts that he looked at, is that's what the differential is. But there are some people that are hyping that up just because they want it higher up in the air, right? Where you have to almost have a step to get into it.
Right, but
So you have to set a limit at some point.
And I agree, limits are good, but they need to be set on information that's factual. If we have carts already in the neighborhood that have been approved, and everyone says, yeah, that's fine, that's not a jacked up cart. why would
Because
we-
those rules weren't in place before.
I understand, but if you're looking at the cart today and you say, yeah, that's fine, and you said Evo is a cart that's approved, right? So let's look at Evo carts. Let's make sure that Evo carts that are here on the golf course would fit within the guidelines that you want to create.
And we will ask Phil.
That's what, so I got these
If you
numbers from
consider
Phil, and that's what he said he did. We changed the overall length to 112, the wheelbase max to 68. He was taking the specs that he had for these that are on this list, and since this is a max, taking the highest that they had from those specs. Now, he said he was under the impression that 75 inches was the top you could have to get through the bridge. So he was mistaken if you can get through at 77 and a half. But that's where he got these max numbers, except for weight. He's like, he couldn't find one that was even close to 1,000.
So we'll have to ask him about the wheelbase,
Does that look like the
or
differential
the
height
differential height,
and the roof height?
Yeah.
and the roof height,
I
yeah.
mean,
I
those
got
are
those.
major changes. Steve looked into it. It's over $1,000 to change out wheels and tires so he can bring his cart down to meet the specs. When,
So it's his
His cart is
wheels,
really-
it's his wheels that are making it.
no, they're 14-inch wheels. They're the same as mine. Mine's 6.5.
No,
It's just different.
no. So the wheels are making the cart higher.
No, the wheels is the cheapest way for him to get into spec, by changing
Which
his wheels
spec?
down.
Which spec?
6.5.
Oh, 5.6.
I'm sorry, 5.6.
But I thought okay, I see what you're saying, so it raised the whole train underneath.
That's correct.
Since we broke all protocol in the meeting, can I say just a real quick comment?
Yeah,
Thanks,
Oh,
Gary.
sure, now you're gonna get up.
Well, since we've gone down this rabbit hole a little bit. Two things I want to say. One is the measurement to the differential. It's a bad way of judging things. For example, my Yamaha cart has plates on the bottom, so you really can't get to the differential. So you might not be able to measure it properly. My point is, there's gonna be so much variability in that. You're gonna have independent rear suspension versus a solid axle. Again, way too difficult and
Specific.
cumbersome to really determine what a proper height is. I think saying a non-lifted cart is a good delineation.
But what do you, okay, go ahead.
So, and the second thing I want to say is about the whole pendulum change. I've had the luxury of seeing a lot of change in my career. Every time we got a new commander in, they felt compelled to make a change. And the change was usually from this extreme to that extreme. And I really feel like we're going through that right now. We've been in an extreme where honestly, nobody got their carts inspected. You went to the front office, you said, here's my $300,000 insurance policy. Okay, here's your sticker, have a nice day, good luck, farewell.
And some people didn't even put their stickers on.
And honestly, nobody ever looked at my cart when I purchased it. Nobody. Nobody looked at it. I got my sticker, I'm driving around, I'm happy. So the pendulum was way over here, no one cared, no one knew the rules, and now we're going way over this side because we give a shit. And I think somehow we're gonna get that pendulum in the middle through valid, healthy discussion, not argument, not finger pointing. But I just think a group of people can get together and talk about this without yelling at one another, with dealing in facts and not fiction, and take the emotions out, and just look at fact-based and come up with a real good solution. I really think we can do that. This isn't the time and place, obviously. Maybe we gotta take a step back at the golf committee and really analyze this a little deeper. Anyways, I'm done.
Yeah, and you talking about the pendulum swinging?
Yep.
So the pendulum has always been like here, people who bought golf carts for golf carts, right? But all of a sudden, the pendulum started swinging up this way, and the Evos came in, they're jacked up, some had to go and have it lowered because it was too high, couldn't go through the tunnel. And all of a sudden, we went, we don't have any rules in place. And we don't have any inspection to match up with the Welcome Center handing out the stickers. So that whole process is in place now, right? So we never had that. But what I'm saying is the pendulum started swinging this way because of the new golf cart products that were coming out. So at some point you have to say, okay, we have to set some rules in place so that we can keep it as a golf course and keep the golf carts safe.
100% agree.
So that's where the pendulum started swinging up, and that's why it became, we have to do something now and put some rules in place.
Well, but we had rules.
No,
Well, we do. I mean, right now, the rule says, before purchasing a golf car, the golf car must be approved by the board of director, golf committee, or general manager, before purchasing. Nobody's doing that. And it's not being enforced. I got that approved. Okay, one person.
I did, I talked to Phil several times, thankfully, because I was gonna get a four-seater.
Before they issue stickers, people don't really realize that rule exists.
I know.
It's non-compliance and.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It was here, and then it started swinging
Okay,
here.
we're gonna go back and forth and back and forth. And rather than do that, let me ask this. Is there any member of the board that wishes to put forth a motion that this policy as submitted by the golf committee be approved?
I guess not after the
I
discussion.
think we have to do something. We need to approve something here so that these carts can get out on the course. We've got people that got carts, can't use them. So I feel we've got to do something with that. Now, I think what we need to do is one thing. Your first mode can't be more than 19 miles an hour. The one you use on the road should be 19 miles an hour. But that's something that's gonna be between you and your God.
We can't control that.
Not-
We can't control that.
We can't control what they do on the street. I mean,
Right.
our focus is the golf course and the passengers that are riding with them.
Right.
I mean, I still go back to the safety thing, because I rode in somebody's car that was higher than the normal car, and I did not feel safe.
But could we pass this with one caveat that we're gonna relook at the speed to be looked at later?
And look at the
And
And,
finalize the
vehicle specs.
vehicle spec. So that we can get these people out of the golf course.
I would agree to that. I second that.
Well, how would you, I heard a second, how would you word that?
I will make a motion that we approve this as Mark, except for the fact that speed will be reviewed again at our next meeting. And the specs will be finalized at the next meeting, completely finalized.
So
I second that.
passing is the speed, right?
Speed will be looked at again.
But that's all the motion includes is just speed?
And specs.
And the specifications, which, you want discussion on that? Because you've got a second, right? Can we have
Not
discussion?
yet.
Period, second.
I second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't- Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the board?
Yeah.
Okay, I have discussion because if we're saying that the general specifications and the speed, if we're going to be looking at the speed and the general specification and leaving that wide open, does that mean anybody that wants to go get a cart, no matter what it is, over the next 30 days, can go ahead and go get that?
No, only those that have been approved, right? Only those that are waiting for approval right now.
Okay, so you're talking about people that have purchased.
They've already bought it.
So you do have, horsing around actually is telling people, because I've had a call from an owner who went to purchase a cart, and he was told by the vendor, thank goodness, that he might want to wait because we weren't approving those carts at this time. So he's looking for an answer as well, as how to move forward, but then the horsing around guy will need to know too, because at least he's doing everyone a favor and not just making a sale and letting the customer deal with it.
Yeah.
At least he's being proactive enough to say, hey, you may want to hold off right now.
So my question, Bill, in the golf committee, was there any other determination as far as the ground clearance other than the differential and the 5.6?
5.6.
Was there any discussion about any other method of measuring that?
Not that I can remember.
No, not that I
Exactly.
can remember
I
either.
think that was about.
I'm just wondering if there's any modifications that we can make to this that would allow us to be able to go ahead and modify it to make it passable with a few changes. So you don't know of anything that we could use differently than the 5.6?
Not that I know of.
No.
And again, I think when Phil reported on these changes, he was looking at the spec sheet, but 5.6 is one thing that didn't change, so I don't know if that's a specification that comes on the sheet from the manufacturer. I would assume it is, if we got a listing.
I understand, Larry, that we want to get this moving, and, but I just leave this thing wide open. We just say, well, we'll talk about the speed later. There is a simple thing that we can put in here that says, you know, speed not to exceed 19 miles per hour while driven over the golf course. Speed shall not exceed 19 miles per hour while driven on the golf course.
And that's what we'll talk about.
That's what we'll talk about, but it's like, when we want to approve this thing,
Well, my understanding is those vehicles can be modified.
anything
They
can be
can't
modified.
19 miles an hour.
Anything can be modified, it's like, but it's whether or not you drive, it's whether or not you're gonna drive it more than 19 miles per hour on the golf course.
I have a question. If the speed on the second one was 19, what was the speed on the first one?
I believe it's 12. 12 and
That's great.
is what it said, for the specific cart that I have.
Mine was set at 9, that's all it'll go on, speed 1.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
And I'm sorry, Mike, the gentleman next to you, what was your name?
Todd.
Todd what?
How's your,
Bradshaw.
how's your car set time?
Standard 25. He said I
No,
could
no,
come.
not talking, not the low
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I mean, I was, quite honestly, came to 25, and he said I could put a chip to go 32, and I'm like, I don't need to go 30.
So when you're on the golf course, do you use the low speed?
I have not been.
So you've been using the
end.
high
He has been
speed?
on the golf course.
What's that?
Yeah, he has.
You've been on the golf course?
I've had my car since October of last year.
They use it high speed on the golf course.
I don't go 25 miles an hour on the golf course.
Oh, shit.
I mean, we're going, you know, I mean, it's very safe though.
Why don't you put it
We
low?
have,
Why don't you put it low speed?
I didn't know there was a low speed. To be honest with you.
Okay.
The one other question, a comment I'd like to make before we leave this, topic and then vote on it, I guess, is that, I heard earlier to say that these golf carts are not safe, because they're hills, and they just slide. I contend that the EVO are the safest golf cart out there, because they got four-wheel disc brakes. They brake themselves going down the hill. If you're, my Yamaha, if I didn't brake that thing going down 12, you get up to 30, 35 miles an hour. You have to continue to brake that thing.
A club car stops itself going down the
Okay,
hill.
club cars, but they're a little dangerous too. They're programmed in certain areas where you've got the thing at the floor and you're doing 8 or 9 miles per hour and you hit an area where they release it and about throws you into the back.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, mine doesn't.
I can show you right up here on number 1 where that at.
Mine
Everybody drives up number 1, towards number 1.
Mine
It's
doesn't.
that open area.
Mine doesn't.
Wow, yours is not one of the club cars that they.
You know,
they let out.
you got floorboard.
Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm just telling you that, that these are very safe cars, because they won't run away from you when you're going down a hill. You got to fall out of the car front, and it would stop itself going down a steep hill.
Shouldn't be driving drunk.
I understand that, I just use that as an example, sir. I don't drive.
Go ahead, why not?
You're using arbitrary numbers, so it's probably set in 1968.
No, that's not true, Steve.
19 mile an hour, 5.6, all that. It's all what manufacturers use as a basis. That's all it is.
19 miles,
1,000 pounds.
19 miles an hour is
So-and-so
Missouri
will
law. 19 miles an
I'm
hour,
talking
he's
about
talking,
19.
it's
Terry,
Missouri
you
law.
say 19 mile an hour, my car will go a lot faster than that, and I will not even hit 19 mile an hour anywhere on this course, because it's unsafe.
Can I say one thing though?
So, just say 19 doesn't mean anything. You probably need to be training folks on what the hell they should be doing. There's places that I won't even drive 15, because it's dangerous. And there's places that maybe I could get to 19, but it doesn't matter if my damn car will go 100.
Okay,
If I have that woman with me, or a friend with me, I'm gonna drive safe. And just using arbitrary numbers that were set by the manufacturers years ago doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
There is a definition of a low-speed vehicle.
I'm sorry, sir.
There's a definition of a low-speed vehicle that goes faster than 19 miles an hour. That's a Missouri law. So it can't go faster
Well,
than
unless
35.
people have got speed guns, I guess it's really not anywhere to chase.
That
I'm just
means
trying to say, it's arbitrary. You have to trust some people's common sense, but you might want to teach them common sense.
You can't teach
And, and we talk about cost and grandfathering and all that. I'll tell you, I sit down and figure it out. If I have to take my car to the new specifications, it's gonna cost $1,800 to $1,000, or
okay.
$800 to $1,000.
Enough.
Almost every private car out here will not comply to 19 mile an hour.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any additional discussion among the board? Hearing none.
Did you write down what Larry's motion was?
I believe so. Motion and second to approve, except, with an exception to, the speed to be revised and the specs to be finalized at the next meeting.
And do we want to add in Larry's comments about not having a golf committee member? I made a note of that. And about defining oversized speakers, what that means. You want that in there, Larry, in the motion?
Well, I don't know about the oversized speakers, because, I don't know how you define that, but member of the golf committee, that would be good to have in that motion. But, I don't know how you're around to member of the golf committee or helping.
When they go through this, I'm more than happy to bring my card over, take a look at it, that kind of thing. You'd like that with
That was out. Okay.
That'd be perfect. Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
But you're not specifying that this is only for people that currently have cards that are waiting to be approved.
That's right.
So that needs to go ahead.
There's people that currently have cards
Waiting.
now, waiting to be approved.
I think you should say purchased before
Yeah.
September first or something. Put a
Already
date.
purchased.
I think it's so confusing and ambiguous right now. For us to vote on it would just be harder than heck to fix it for next meeting.
The problem is, people that have existing cards would have to wait another 30 days.
Do you think they want just any motion and that'll make them happy? And you're gonna change it in 30 days?
There's another way to do that. We just rescind the motion we made 2 months ago. That says that there'll be no new cards approved until we come up with a policy. Just rescind that, and then the ones who have cards can go ahead and start using. Then we can get to work on
That
this.
just gets you back to no rules at all.
Well, right. If the policy's not ready, because it's not ready.
I'm not on the board, but it sounds like there's only 2 issues. You've got an issue of the speed and you've got an issue of 2 inches of the heights of the carts that everybody has. So you literally can add, to me, that's what it sounds like the most of the issues are. Again, the people that have the carts are the dues paying people of the community. They're the ones paying the dues. And at some point, you've got to trust them. If they've got a low speed that's set on 19 to go on the golf course, they're the ones buying the cars, they're the ones that live here, the ones paying monthly dues. At some point, you gotta trust them.
I agree
You can
with
drive
that.
on the car, your car can drive 100 miles an hour, but we're trusting them to go 35 miles an hour through our neighborhood. At some point, you've gotta trust, it's not, you're giving these carts to people that are coming here and renting a golf cart out here and just coming to play. These people live here.
So then you're saying, basically what you're saying is no rules.
No, I'm not saying no rules, I'm just saying they have to show you, they can have, if they have a high speed that goes faster, that's fine, but they have to have a low speed setting of no more than 19 miles an hour, and they have to use that on the golf course.
Yep.
You gotta trust them at that point. You just have to trust the people that live here that are buying these golf carts, they have that low speed. When they're inspecting, they've gotta inspect it, that's got a low speed. Maybe you need to buy the gun that's $100 so they can test that in the parking lot, that on low speed, it doesn't go over 19 miles an hour. And at that point, it's in your rules.
They actually
Trust them
have
to
to
go
go
35 miles an hour on the road, you gotta trust them at that point.
They can be tested. They have a
We have to
Or they have a speedometer, even better, you don't have to buy it. So I know there's been accidents on the golf course, wrecks. Were those private carts or were those our carts at the?
Both.
So they were both. So, at some point, you're just, again, you're gonna have to trust the people that are buying the carts, but that are living in the neighborhood.
It's like you should say, stop serving alcohol on the golf course. Please don't, but stop. You can't trust people to not drink too much and be dangerous on the course. It goes with just trusting the residents here. Trust that they're gonna play the music at the right, sound level. Trust that they're not gonna overdrink and be stupid on the golf course. We just need to trust, and that's what I think people are so ticked off about.
We have the same thing on the ACC. We do have a decibel for working, that it's gotta be so loud, but, the only time somebody calls in and then we go out there, we're not supposed to work on a Sunday, somebody calls in, and we call Bill, or somebody goes out there. We're trusting the contractor, to follow the rules, and we're doing that, and if not, we get notified and we go handle the situation.
Okay.
Okay. Having heard everything, we have the motion with the modifications, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Jeremy is
Yes,
given,
this is with me.
you
Yes.
opposed?
No,
I'm opposed to passing the rules.
that's what I'm opposed to. We have to figure out what we're doing.
The motion has passed 4 votes to 3.
Can the chair vote?
On a time.
Sure, it is a tie. There's 3 to work.
I think it is, okay, it's fine. Okay.
So I'm confused now. So what did we just pass? Good work.
To pass the ability for you to drive your car.
Well, we can do that just by rescinding our motion.
We're not gonna rescind it.
That way it's easy. Because it's been a moratorium, that was easy.
Okay,
So what do we have? What-
So, motion second, to, approve the policy as set forward with the exception of the, speed and the specs to be finalized by next meeting for owners who have already purchased carts and are awaiting approval. That's what happened.
okay. Moving on to old business.
I have one question for Bill. What does that mean to Mike? You said he turned down somebody buying a cart. He still has to turn it down.
Yes.
So he can't sell carts.
Is that the guy from Horse Around?
Right, yeah. Well, that's what you said you talked to.
No, I talked to an owner.
Oh, no, said he told you. So Horse Around can't sell any carts for you on Stone Bridge at this time.
Until we get the
So we get this straightened out. And I think, for what it's worth, the record should reflect that whatever is put together to come to the conclusion for speed and or specs and anything else is questioned. Somebody from the golf committee, preferably the chairman, should be here to present his committee's proposal and to be ready to defend it and answer questions about it. I agree.
His father's in
Yeah.
hospice. Yeah, his father's in hospice.
Oh.
Craig's father. In
Oh.
hospice in Springfield.
And someone should have been designated in his position.
I don't disagree.
Moving on to the old business, with the estimate for the covered bridge repair bill.
So with covered bridge repair, we got in the estimates and the scope of work. They need a cross brace between the rafters. They're gonna get the 120-foot crane to, 120-ton crane to support the roof while replacing the beams. They're gonna shore up from underneath to suspend the roof for safety. They're gonna remove the beams in phases. They are replacing with 21 by 44 steel I-beams. They're galvanizing those, cladding around to give a wood presentation. They're replacing and painting the split rail fences and coating the exposed section with paint, special paint that can weather. The total for that project is $84,213.44. That's from Navajo.
Bill, what is the timeframe that the bridge would be closed?
They do give a term here.
I was trying to remember what that was. I mean, whether it's like a week or if it's a number of days.
It was supposed to be 1 to 2 days, but I don't see it. I mean, they were gonna try to get it done within 1 day. But I don't see that schedule.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe in the more detailed terms, because this is 2 pages out of the 7. The original doc that was sent out is 7 pages. This is just the first 2 on the bid, scope of work and price.
But I guess it is whatever it is, because of the safety issues.
And they can do it with the, and they will go ahead and let the roofers come on and do the roof. The way they're gonna shore it from the bottom, they're not gonna affect the roof. And roofers are supposed to be out within the first 2 weeks of October.
So that's when the bridge repair will be done.
Yeah.
Sometime in October.
Mhm.
Bridge, and bridge. Cost us a fortune.
So we're spending $84,000 to repair the bridge and putting a new roof on top of it?
No, the roof is another 12, I believe, 12 to 18.
was for 2 guard checks and the bridge.
18.5 for both guard checks and the bridge.
Did you ask them what the price was versus replacing it all?
No, this is our most economic fix that they had.
You mean the bridge?
Yeah,
It's just the upper part is what's needed to be, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
yeah. The columns in the upper and the support.
I gotta bring a crane down here, right?
To short up, to keep it in place. So they can take the beams out and put the other beams in.
Okay.
And that's the only old business, we just want to stay there because with the new business, it's full deck retaining wall since Mr. Slaybaugh has decided to withdraw.
Yeah, so yeah, Slayball's not gonna be here. The pool deck retaining wall, we've got in 2 bids from Navholtz, on 2 separate ideas to save cost on the retaining wall, that holds the patio at the pavilion pool. We are also seeking bids from Emery Sapp and Sons and Llewellyn. And, if there's anyone else that wants to bid on it, there are 2 different ideas. That the engineer signed off on. And as far as Navholtz goes, the lower bid on those would be to basically do the rock retaining wall along the outside and pour a good footer for that, rather than shore it up with braces. The bracing was gonna cost more on the Navholtz bid, but we still had the other 2 companies bidding on both of the engineer-approved methods. The time that we've been given for Navholtz in order to complete and have everything open by season is to start no later than January on that repair. So I'll have more bids
On the pool.
on the pool deck retaining wall.
What was their estimate? Was like, how much do they think this is gonna cost?
Well, I told Navholtz I would wait until we got all the bids in to make that publicly known.
That announcement.
Yeah.
That's kind of been like a money pit, that check, I said, we just keep pouring money into that thing.
We had to replace back what,
We don't have to.
but the pool was replaced, what, 7 or 8 years ago?
Yeah.
I was trying to.
I forget when. That's surprising, but yeah, no, it may have been more than that. 16, 2016.
I think it was right after we bought it. It was about 16.
Right, it was on board.
And the 2026 budget, your comments regarding that?
So we're just starting that. I have already received a couple documents from the department heads and on the golf side. And we're starting to gather figures. We know minimum wage is gonna go up about 30%. We're trying to see what that's gonna do to the rest of the departmental payroll. And our insurance, we just met with them today. They put our facility out to market. We saw it drop last year. This year we're seeing quite a sizable increase, again, of another 25-30% increase. Is the best that they were able to get
Our insurance.
from about a dozen different. Yeah, that's a big number.
We need to vote on this,
The covered bridge you do.
Is
That's
there,
coming out of where, it's coming out of the capital budget.
Yeah, that'll come out of capital, unforeseen, but, yeah, we'll just either pull it from, we'll decide at a later date whether general operating, reserves, but
Okay, so you don't want us to specify that on the motion?
no.
is there,
Unless you want to.
is there a motion to be made regarding the repair to the covered bridge as detailed? second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any additional discussion among the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And with that, we come to the open forum. Please come up to the microphone, state your name, and you have 3 minutes to say what's on your mind. And I think I speak for the board as a whole today. The subject of the golf cart policy will be removed from the open forum since it's been bandied about, enough. Anyone?
I will. Sorry, it's been a long night for everybody, but I'm gonna take 1 minute.
You get 3.
Well, I don't need it, hopefully. My name is Terry Allen. The only thing I want to recommend is we consider installing a beverage refrigerator in a pro shop where we have staff available to sell when the course is open. We could put light snacks, maybe chips or candy bars, what have you. Could also be offered one-stop shopping when customers are checking in for a round of golf. It's like having candy bars at a checkout lane at a grocery store, point of sales marketing. It also offers these refreshments when the grill is otherwise not available, which seems to be quite often during certain times of the year. And I'll share a quick story. Me and the fellows were golfing one Monday morning, we'll say January, and we get done golfing and we're a little parched. So we went to try to find a cold beer somewhere, nowhere to be found. So we took our approved golf cart up to Jim's place and got a 12-pack of beer. So my point is, it's just a revenue stream that I think we're losing an opportunity on. I've been to a lot of golf courses where you go into the pro shop and they've got a nice beverage refrigerator that's got beer, soda, Gatorade, and what have you, and people's like, okay, let's grab a couple for the road. Don't have to go to the grill, but it doesn't replace the grill and it doesn't replace our beverage cart on the course. I just think it's another revenue stream that we could tap into and make a little bit of money. And I think, I can't say this without 100% confidence, but I don't think the guys in the pro shop during those slow times of year are overwhelmed with work and activity where they couldn't help, where they couldn't actually promote a sale simply by when the folks are checking in and say, hey, we've got some refreshments there, how would you like to take some in your cart? So anyways, I think we should throw a beverage cart or beverage refrigerator into the pro shop, generate some sales. Thank you.
You're killing my sales.
Anyone else?
I have to get up every time I come to a meeting.
We'd like to
That's
put it
another
on.
one thing, Jack in the box.
Well, what I planned and what I want to say now is very different, since we did have an open mic earlier. And that's really what I want to do, is just thank you truly for taking the time to reconsider and listen to the membership and really, I think it's just really important. You guys represent the membership. You have a very difficult job, the golf committee, all the boards. Just want to thank you for all the time you put into that, and especially for tonight on something as concerning as the golf cart changes, and that you guys have somewhat paused that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike, thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else?
I'll be quick. I'm Carolyn Twoney. We spent a long time on golf carts tonight, so let's forget about golf carts. I know this doesn't affect a lot of people in the room probably, but where our house is, we call, of course, motel is what we call the nightly rentals. People come barreling down those hills. They come down the hill, they hit the gas pedal to go up the hill. My husband has spoken several times at meetings about doing something about it, and nothing's happened. It's, you talk about the speed of golf carts, the speed of the cars, and one gentleman, I think it was the ACC member, he brought up this, the speed on some of the cars. You have to trust people, I understand that. But I cannot tell you how many times I've been outside working in the yard and I'm yelling, slow down. And sometimes maybe my language isn't real good, but I get disgusted because people do fly down those hills. And I know we have put in some of those, your speed, the speed limit, or your speed is, which I think has helped sometimes, but there have been a number of times we have gone past Silverado and people don't even stop. They just come barreling right through that stop sign in there. One time, we almost had to take the ditch just to avoid being hit. That's all I have to say. And thank you very much I agree with Mike, with all that you people do for us. Yes.
I was always wondering why I'm putting on number 3 who that was cursing. Now I know.
Well, I really am very nice about it, but I do yell, slow down, or, watch your speed, because I smile, yes, I do. Thank you.
I might add that she said slow down, I had 1 or 2 more words behind that, pretty loud.
You guys ever see who's doing the burnouts?
We missed them, I mean, we know who they are, it's a truck, it's a black
You do?
truck.
No?
That's all that they are.
Yeah, black truck, I've heard of it.
And I haven't found it, because I walk that neighborhood up there almost every day, and I haven't found it. So
I've heard of it like a dark blue or a black Mustang.
it's black, that's a Mustang, I know what a Mustang is, it's not the Mustang, it's a truck.
Okay.
That have you seen?
Anybody can get a picture of it, please do.
And is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
I want to stay all night.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, the next meeting will be October the 27th.
The 21?
Thanks, everybody.
I'll go a little while, I got some of your,
This is very.
this is